What's up, everybody? Hey, what's going on? It is Tuesday. Who's
Yeah.
popping me? Caesar, 14 months. Thank you very much. Hey, it's Tuesday. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I am running Waterdeep Under Siege. It is a homebrewed world that is based in Waterdeep, and that's the only city that's pretty much still not infested with undead. So if you're some type of undead though, you're probably having a heyday here, since the whole world is not full of people trying to kill you right now. But and these are the players right over there, those guys. And if you've been following us for the last 10 sessions, then you know who their characters are, and there's a little slideshow down there. So we're gonna just kind of skip over the character introductions for right now, and we're just gonna get into it. So, what are you guys up to, man? How's your week? Good.
Yeah. Yep. It's Tuesday though. Got a lot of week left.
Yeah,
Got a
but
long weekend ahead of me.
but the beginning of the week has ended. Now we're towards the middle. So,
Yeah, I got to watch the Cards sweep the Cubbies this week. Hi, Caesar. Oh, swept them. I mean,
No,
just cleaned their carpet.
hmm,
I haven't even been following.
he's
Yeah, you
recording it.
shouldn't.
Don't know spoilers. So
Yeah.
speaking of sweeping the floor, S's character or Maticure, your character last week, S, pretty much cleaned house. You guys come back over to the at the end of the evening with your pockets laden full of coins, and S has got a couple of little bruises on him, but nothing major.
Yeah, nothing to worry about.
Well, it's close there.
He's pretty happy with how it turned out.
So tomorrow, take a look at the calendar. It is currently probably in the evening. 10 a.m. No, that's not right. Where are we at? Oh, here we go. The 20th. Oh, Pretzel is still playing? How dare they? Stop. At least somebody's talking in chat. I wonder if Pretzel keeps your chat count up. Ding. All right, so it's going to be the next morning, 21st of Hammer Time, and about 10 in the morning. You guys slept in a little, I guess. So let me give you a long rest. The most important part of it. So, what do we have on the agenda today?
So how plausible would it be for us to go to where the ship crashed? When you first mentioned it, I was under the impression it was just an informational thing, and it would not be something that we could do. But last week it was mentioned again. Is that something that we could go investigate?
It is not totally like impossible, but it's kind of like planning the escape from Alcatraz. So it is doable, but there needs to be like lots of things in place to make it happen. Like there's a possibility that a couple of you could get out there by yourselves, but the whole group of you, slim. A whole
We got
army
hall
of
passes,
you,
right?
probably. So some research would be in order, but it's not out of order. Um, so the first thing that's going to happen today is you guys get a visitor. The bell doesn't ring. However, standing in the shop is Dr. Troy.
Where?
I think he heard you growl.
Where's Dr. Troy?
I didn't put his token on yet, but he's standing there.
He's standing there with us.
Yeah, where the hell is Dr. Troy's stuff at? He's not even on the sheet over here, the handy little reference sheet. Yeah, he comes in and he says, "It's been a while, boys.
Been a while.
Been a while."
Since I was on function, where'd you go, Dr. Troy?
So, looking at him, do we see scarred, new scars or wounds or?
Actually, he looks pretty normal. Like nothing seems to be like the last time you saw him, he looked a little like tired or kind of worn out, but now he looks chipper, kind of smiling happily. He says, "All 5 of you have survived nicely."
Well,
We did more than survive.
He looks around. The shop seems to be functional still. Have you
We've
been?
received one delivery of honey, but beyond that, nothing else has been delivered here. Do you have a normal means of replacing your goods?
I suppose what's as normal to me is going to be different for you. You have to find your own way. But I can help.
Did you actually sell this junk, or were you doing some other business here?
Well, he looks at all 5 of you. He says, "I had a lot of focus on certain individuals in my life. Not getting them caught was important. So the shop provided an illusion." Oryx stabs him in the throat.
Damn!
I do want to do. I am going to be studying him to see if there's any indication that this is not the real Dr. Troy.
Looks just like Dr. Troy, smells like Dr. Troy, talks like Dr. Troy.
Can I target him with an attack?
It's not
Is it a mimic?
he's not a mimic. It is definitely Dr. Troy. What's giving you the impression that it's not him?
We're playing D&D.
No. There's always a chance.
General
Because
paranoia.
he's been gone and we want to hate him and he's not in the combat tracker, so we can't kill him.
Are you back for good this time?
He says, "I'm afraid it's quite the opposite. This will be the last time you see me."
What?
Where are you going?
I have a mission. I have set some goals that I have to accomplish.
So what did it become of your property then? And what did it become of us?
I suppose the property is yours if you claim it.
Well, let's just get some paperwork in order here, shall we, boys?
Paperwork.
We're gonna need these forms in triplicate.
What do you got, like a notebook?
Marley doesn't know. He just thinks it sounds official.
So, Dr. Troy says, where do you see yourselves in, say, 6 months? Here? The shop?
Somebody's got to run this place.
Makes a
Feed.
comfortable enough den, I guess.
I don't know. What else is out there?
Out where? Beyond the gates?
Yeah, out there. And he just kind of gestures at everything.
Says, did you see the crash? And he points towards the mountain.
Yeah, we saw that on the rooftop. What was that thing?
It's a ship that travels from planet to planet.
What's a planet?
That's what we're on. Don't you remember your schooling? You guys would
No,
know.
I was too busy playing with my
You
kite.
guys would know about the, a little bit about the cosmos. Or at least you took a test on it anyways. Yeah.
I cheated.
We copied Aurochs.
Yeah, I copied off Oryx. He caught me at it, but whatever. So I'm not very stealthy.
Well, is that where you're going?
To the ship?
Yeah.
No. It is not.
You going to one of these other
Well,
planets?
sis, I haven't made a plan yet to go to the crash ship, but
Oh, what kind of goals do you have that's going to keep you away forever?
I'm not sure you're ready to know.
Well, if we're not
Well,
ready
if you
now,
leave,
we're
then
never
we'll
going to see
never
you
know.
again.
Seems odd you would spend 15 years studying one subject and then suddenly just leave and abandon it all.
Abandonment is not my pursuit. Sometimes it does happen, though.
I think we're still the experiment. Aren't we, Dr. Troy?
Experiment.
You're watching your big brother. There's signs all over town says Big
Is that-
Brother's watching you.
Is that how you feel about yourself, Marley? That you're an experiment?
Well, yeah, that's how I feel like you're treating us. Like an experiment.
Why? Because I'm leaving?
But are you? But are you, Doctor?
He says, in some way, I have to leave.
So why don't you bring us with you? It would seem logical to have protection and put that training that you've given us to use.
Those thoughts have crossed my mind. I'm not sure you're ready.
If not now, when?
Do you know when you'll be ready?
Well, S is becoming a pretty badass pit fighter.
Marley pulls out his violin and starts writing a blues song about, do you know when you're ready? Do you know? Do you know when you're
So
ready?
when you
Do
say we're not
know?
ready, in what capacity? Combat capabilities, magical capabilities, just
Those will come with time.
survivability.
I'm not sure you're mentally ready.
You think we're going to become mentally ready at some point? Or is that the experiment?
The experiment is simple to let you make your own decisions and your own choices. Not my decisions and not my choices, but your own.
But yet you won't allow our choice to be to go with you.
If you knew where I was going, you wouldn't want to go with me.
Are you
Well,
going to another
You
planet?
couldn't go with me.
well, shouldn't that be our choice based on your experiment?
in the case when it comes to me, don't have any choices.
So it is an experiment. See, told you guys, told you. I'm the man
So you
in the
mentioned you could do
box.
something to help us. I mean, I'm curious if you're coming here for the last time. What's your purpose for this
Hmm.
visit? What are you trying to accomplish with this visit?
I wanted to offer you one last thought, one last question. Where do you see yourselves in 10 years?
Probably some dirty little lycanthropic were rat crawling through the sewers at the rate we're going.
Hmm? Unlikely the lichen virus would infect you, but
Unlikely? Really? Well, phew, that's a load off.
if it did, it would be some abnormal, mindless creature that licked itself all day.
So what's wrong with that?
How's that
I've been
any
studying
different to
yoga,
what
by the way.
never
What
mind.
about what about what about you, Orag? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Till a couple weeks ago, it was here. But now, I don't know. With this world, the more we learn of it, the smaller it gets. Does not look like we have much choice.
And it's dirty, isn't it, Orig? The world is dirty.
We have to stay within the city limits, and then within the city limits, we have to stay within the few block radius, or else there's death and destruction, undead.
Indeed, the streets inside of Waterdeep do bleed daily.
Perhaps
They're
Marley will gain enough magic to where he can take us somewhere, different plane or different reality where we can live a better life. That's what I would like to be in 10 years.
Dogger just starts laughing. Marley?
Fuck, Caesar. I can't even respond to that. Your chuckle just cracked me up.
so,
Marley would look at you like confused a little bit, leaning towards maybe pissed off at that statement a little bit. Maybe I think he's
Doctor
still trying to figure it out.
Dr. Troy kind of leans down and looks at Dalgron and says, it seems your aging has slowed a bit to be 15 years old. Says, I think you've gotten to be as old as you're going to be for a while. But where do you see yourself in 10 years, Dalgron?
Oh, Dahlgren? I see myself bringing light to the darkness of this city, leading the lamplighters, lighting up these streets at night.
Like torches?
No, the street lanterns every night, bringing brightness. This is a dark place.
I see. You want to light lanterns. Uh, more, more Cal. What about you? 10 years.
10 years. I can't even think that far. That far
Every
out.
day, Dalgron coming here, smelling of oil and burnt lamp oil.
Well,
The
not
guild, leading the guild of lamplighters.
in 10 years. No, not here. Not running this shop. I want to go out and see what else there is out there. There's got to be something more interesting than this.
That to be a lot of skin shedding in 10 years, but
Yes, and a lot of growth. Um, I see myself as if we can't get off this planet, as you call it, uh, conquering the city and ruling the city. If we can get off planet, establishing my own kingdom.
freaking right on your background note. Did you
Marley's
read that off
jaw
your
dropped.
background? Did you read that
No, I
off your
didn't.
background? It's actually on your background, I think. Look at it.
Inheritor?
Yeah, we're all inheritors.
Yeah, you're all inheritors, but
He
you
means
got
a
a little bit
background
different
story.
ideals. Right? Where are they at?
You mean the ideals? Yeah, if I become strong, I can take what I want, what I deserve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my goal is to, yeah, I'm going to take control.
yeah. Dr. Troy, he says that vessel, the Ingorgius one, has arrived. He says that crashed ship. They're 25 months, bitches. Thank you, Ingorgio. 25 month subscription. So Dr. Troy, he says that ship can have a lot of useful parts for those that are wishing to leave this place.
The what? The ship?
And he points towards the mountain.
Well, I'd kind of like to know what them people live like up there on that hill.
Says what people? No people
Up there
living up on the hill.
See if I can get this open. I thought Mount Waterdeep had a bunch of people, like it was some kind of.
It's outside the Mythal, so if there are people up there, they go moo, moo.
Oh, it's this stretch. Yeah, this bunch of folks. The regular folks, the normal folks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The market.
Which map are you on?
On the Waterdeep
Waterdeep
map.
locations.
Let me switch over to the table.
Yeah, looks like we can buy that big old place up there for $77.
Oh, you're talking. Where are you talking?
Waterdeep locations map.
Yeah, but where are you talking? Where the people live?
Yeah. This section from the market up through here. What'd you say there was like
Oh,
clerics and
that's
paladins and
yeah. That's the the exiled zone.
the exiled zone? Yeah.
Hmm. It's not up on the hill though.
Uh,
Well, maybe it could be a little high there. Maybe. Did you see what I put on the map though? Did you see that?
Yeah, there's a ship. So, Dr. Troy, you say
Huh.
there's
Mount Waterdeep.
could be handy stuff in there. You have any suggestions on how we might be able to actually get there? Because it seems to be a mighty journey. Everything we've encountered trying to get out of this little few block radius, as Orig called it, has just been a constant pain in the ass.
Journey. Why would you want to get there? To get to the resources?
Said to get the resources. There was stuff there.
How else
Said-
are we supposed to get them?
I said that ship has a lot of resources that would be useful. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to gather them.
I suppose somebody else could gather them and then we could kill them and take them.
Indeed. There is a city full of lichens at your disposal.
Speaking of disposing of lichens,
Hmm.
do you have any way to dispose of them? Right now, the only thing we have that seems to hurt them is when I spit in their face. Or any knowledge of where we might begin to find such things?
You do realize getting caught with silver is more dangerous than if you have magic items.
Yes.
The silver punishes them, though, more. He kind of smiles a little bit. It makes them burn. Doesn't do any more harm. But magical items aren't hard to come by if you know where to ask. It is the solution to that I think has already presented itself to you. At least on the short term. Traveling into the wild, I hear.
Oh, just go rooting around for some stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Now, how did you know that?
Conversation with Sergeant Schultz.
So he knows to leave us alone running the shop from now on, then, right?
Sergeant Schultz is a valuable piece of information. You don't want him to leave you alone.
No, I mean I'm fine lining his pockets every now and then, greasing his palms of his hands, but he wanted everybody's wanting to know who we were and what we were doing here, and it was a hell of a situation to be in there, Dr. Troy.
You guys fared well. You're still here. Is anyone asking questions?
Not so much anymore.
You have
Guess he'll get really excited and start talking about his pit fight.
Because I haven't.
He's still a 15-year-old kid.
I didn't have a chance to watch the fight.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
kicked
dude
that
Well,
got
Kel
his
taught
ass
us how to
whooped.
gamble too.
We made some money. Hmm.
Why don't you guys give me either a persuasion check or an insight check, depending on what your character's trying to convince Dr. Troy of, or trying to read him.
Alright, for reference.
So, as Marley pulls out his tongue and starts talking, persuading, the rest of you guys are like, we don't trust this bastard because everyone else rolled an insight check.
Really? Marley he just wants this guy to offer some direction. He feels he feels extremely abandoned. If this the only other uh, humans or you know humanoid that we've dealt with for the last 15 years, and all of a sudden he's acting all weird. So like, what the hell's his problem? Why's he got to be so mysterious and weird? Give us some direction. So that's what Marley's trying to persuade him.
Yeah, it feels like we were supposed to be asking him certain questions, and we're not asking the right ones. And then, you know,
Mm,
a year from now, it's going to be, well, if only you'd said ask this, then
right?
you would
Should
know this and know
go
what to
back
do.
to session 11 and watch that. That's where you should have asked the questions. That's where you should have done it. We're on session 58. You should have asked. No, no. Right now, I think Marley's persuasion enough and y'all's insight is convinced enough that he's definitely covering up something that he's wants to tell you, but isn't sure he should tell you. So is that something you're gonna push on him?
You know, Dr. Troy, I get the feeling that you've kind of taken some sort of pleasure from watching us suffer and kind of struggle through these
Creeper.
times while you've been gone.
Um, I haven't watched you suffer.
But you know of it somehow. You know what's going on. You know more than you're letting on, that's for sure.
Indeed, I do. Not about what you went through while I've been gone. I know where I've been and what I've been doing. There are different paths currently. My path is going to help all of our paths. He says, I've put myself in a position of power. Of able to manipulate pieces of a puzzle. So I can't be in two places at once.
What kind of puzzle?
The puzzle that we wish to create, the pieces can be manipulated how we like.
Are you the mayor?
He's the king of the world in the world of Waterdeep.
What did you do, Dr. Troy? Where have you been? What did you do?
He's like, certain knowledge may be dangerous for you to have.
We thrive on danger.
Dangerous how? It might
Danger
make us do something.
might make someone make you their enemy.
Bring attention to ourselves.
Definitely bring attentions to yourself.
Well, Danger is S's middle name, so
It's danger.
How can our knowledge of something make somebody hate us if we don't tell them we know it?
Magic?
Marley. Marley has magic.
shh.
And I don't know if Delgron or Caesar knows it, but Dalgron definitely feels it in his bones that Dr. Troy can read his thoughts. At least his server's thoughts. And always has been able to some degree. So, reading thoughts, you know. He says,
We
information will come to you, I think, when you're ready. But, he says, I think you guys have a decision to make.
We do? Between
Mhm.
what? What's our choices?
Door number two. Door number two.
Your first choice you have to make is when you realize that this planet, it's just a matter of time before this city is overrun as well. This planet is doomed. There's not a living
To be
soul
consumed.
on this planet that's going to get off of it.
So let's leave.
Well, where can
Who
we go?
do we want to take with us?
Just us.
The six of us.
Not
Mm.
Sergeant Schultz. No way.
Interesting thought.
well, 5 of us at least.
The mythal prevents us from transporting away. Had we had a spell powerful enough to do it. However, a vessel, and he points up to the mountain, that was repaired could easily take us and many we wish to save.
So we need to go up the mountain.
S doesn't know anyone more he'd wish to save.
Neither is Dahlgren.
I don't know anyone but you guys. Oh, and there's that halfling guy who hangs around.
I was gonna say that rat guy. We can't take him.
We can
The-
bring the cook from that cooks our food for us. That way we can have something to eat.
Oh,
She
that's
was very
smart.
nice.
Yeah.
She can make food for us. Well, he also tells you that he's done some research and the vessel that crashed out there is a type of a spell faring vessel that has a control like cockpit, a helm they call it, and that's the major part of the ship that is needed. The rest of it can be different, you know, the structure of the ship can look different, but the helm is what's critical. And he says that there's enough parts out there in theory to actually create 3 different vessels, 3 different types of vessels. Not 3 different, but a version of one of the 3. And you guys get to pick which one.
So you've been out there, have you?
The red one, the blue one, or the green one?
He says, take a look at the map to the east of Dr. Troy's. Where's the layer? Here we go.
Which map?
The
City
this map.
Streets?
City Street.
Yeah, the city street map. Yep. He says, your first selection is this one. And we can
Ooh.
hide it. Oops, I turned the wrong button.
It's got a roof on it.
So you're gonna build that and hide it inside the houses next door.
He says, me? No. You.
Well, yeah.
Those that can build it will. These are plans.
I know how to hammer a nail in.
He says,
There are.
the next one is this one.
The other one was cooler.
The other one looked like a lot more work.
Mm-hmm.
Do these glass globes serve a purpose? Do they detach?
They're exercise balls.
Hamster balls. That's what powers the thing.
You gotta run it.
Hamster balls. Little bitty tiny hamster balls.
He says they're escape pods. I don't know what the hell they are. He's like, of course they serve a purpose. This is a designer concept, though.
Just don't ask what they are.
We
So
have
I
to
use
come up with
this
a-
map in my homebrew, and they were air elementals that were used to steer the ship from side to side, and then in here was a water and a fire elemental constantly making steam, like fighting each other constantly, and so that's where all the steam came from. Turned
Nice.
little fans and shit.
So
Yeah,
the third selection is this one.
Oh, that's
There we go.
Coolest of them all.
It's the aluminum falcon.
Which, why would I not include that as a choice? Look at that thing. Zoom in on it. That's a badass map.
That is great.
we should name it after a bird, like the raven.
I have it called the Falcon right now, but maybe the
The
Raven
Mythal
would
Vulture.
be appropriate. Yeah, built by ravens. So, this is all like not obviously in the warehouse. So it's just his thought, his idea that he gives you.
Well, that brings up a question. I mean, are these? I thought people lived in these houses. Are they empty? Do they secretly belong to Dr. Troy?
Hold on, let me turn these off. He says, this is, as I mentioned earlier, I have put myself in a position of power.
Mm.
the first ship, in my opinion, should be the easiest to make. Clearly fits the most people as well.
There's only 5 of us, though.
Wouldn't it cost the most resources to produce? Seems like it had more because it's so much larger.
It's less dense though. They stretch out the molecules, so it's like aluminum foil ship. You know,
Styrofoam.
yeah, one little rocket to destroy it. Unlike the Millennium Falcon, which has shields. So, just saying, just saying. And it can turn sideways and go through narrow spaces. Because we don't know what the thumb is. Why? What is that? Why is that there?
And it could get swallowed and come out.
That
But
kept
I'm sure there's
alien.
some discussion that can happen on the plans.
Is he leaving us copies of the plans? Or are we supposed to memorize them and then
He's not.
reconstruct a ship entirely from memory?
He's not expecting you to do the building. He's like, here's some plans. Go do it. He's telling you what a plan is to have a ship built in those buildings over there.
So we
We
need to
do
find
have
some
to-
engineers.
We got
Isn't there a
Dahlgren
Gond
and
somebody
Orig both have
around here?
intelligence of 12. Marley's not going to be much help here in putting this thing together.
Right. You guys
I'll
could be
build-
like, I'll hold the doors open as you wheelbarrow some more parts in.
Yeah. I'll build the popsicle stick model.
So are there any temples to Gond that are still occupied? They seem like the likely ones to build something like this.
He says there probably is a temple to God. Let's take a look at the locations map. I think if I remember correctly, it was in like over near the.
It's over here somewhere. It's one of these.
Well, if it's inside this zone. But anyways, any temple that of Tagand, it might actually be that one right there.
Yeah. Sea Ward.
Dollar
House of
sign
Heroes.
58.
That's the House of Heroes. But I was pretty sure it was in the Sea Ward.
But anyways, we'll look it up. But I'm pretty sure that there is at least one temple to Gond in Waterdeep, or was a temple to Gond.
The House of Inspired Hands.
But is it
temple.
controlled by the temple members now? We don't know. Neither would Dr. Troy currently. So it's at least within the werewolf area.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
House
it's
of
just off
Inspired Hands.
Shark Street. It's at 38.
Yeah. Let's do a pin right now. Let's do it. Story.
It could be all dead for all we know, but yeah.
What number is it?
Werewolves. S38.
No, dollar sign 38.
Yeah, $38.
It's cheap.
$38, man.
There it is. If only we had some better way to make better we could set the map to all tags stay active. That would be kind of nice instead of hover.
Oh, so it shows the labels?
Yeah.
That could get very messy.
Well, you're just doing it for a second. You turn it on, you look, you turn it off. But it would have to be like the player being able to do it, or it would be pointless because the DM could.
That would get really hard.
I
player
think
doesn't
I
really-
think they're working on ways to add text though, so I don't think it would make a great money-making extension or anything. Because as soon as they able to add text easy to the map, it's gonna go whap.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's possible via an extension. That's possibly maybe on mouse over event kind of thing, but it's messy.
So what were we talking about?
So we have this yellow section and then this white and black section, and now this other section where the Temple of Gond is the wilds. I
The
was under
wild
the
is
impression
yeah. The
there's
wild
us
is this.
and everything else was the wilds. But is that not the case? There are other places within the city that are not the wilds and are not Troll's Skull.
Yeah, the green and black area is all controlled by the werewolves. The
Okay.
black and white areas, and that one little area in the middle, is controlled by the boars. A very chaotic place. And the green and just the green dash area, which is only down here. The what is used to be the graveyard, the city of the dead, is now controlled by the bears, and it is pretty much a vast garden.
A vast garden? What does that mean?
Garden,
Oh, garden. Okay.
producing food for the city.
Nice.
So what about all this area down here? That's just wilds?
Down where? Yeah, that's
Down
all wilds.
near the harbor. Okay. So anything that's not actively enclosed by the green.
Yeah, that's all fenced off. All those borders are. So a lot of buildings have been taken down to use as fencing and stuff like that to do it. But the fencing's not like, Fort Knox or anything to get in. It's just like a palisade kind of. A Trump border. So, I mean, if you really want to get over the wall, you're getting over the wall, right? Criminals are going to be criminals. So in this zone, the red area, they call it the exiled zone, and it's there's no werewolves in the zone. It's where the true exiled people originally, um, like Australia, kind of. And then they've actually taken over the zone and actually keep people out now. It's like pretty secured zone.
So
The
correct me if I'm wrong. Do the werewolves then control largely kind of like a perimeter around the city?
yes,
Okay.
the werewolf is
It's the green and black.
the army in control of the city. It is your militia. It is your martial law. Your
Right.
occupied army has taken over, and it's the werewolf. So They control the walls, they control everything, anything coming and going inside the city, they control that. Or they try to, anyways. Um, and as far as you guys know, they actually go outside the city gates.
They go out there and get and hunt.
And who is it that mans the gates here in Troll Skull that we have the permission to pass through?
You mean the Raven Corbinian? Is that who you're asking
Those the
about?
Ravens that do that? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got the hall pass.
Okay.
the Ravens. And there's some other factions in the city, but they don't actually have a zone, right? You know, the Jackals are a faction. The Crocodiles are a faction, but they don't actually control a zone technically. Obviously, the most controlled zone in the city and the largest by a lot in population in the city is not the werewolves. It's the were-rats that control the sewers.
Underground.
Quick screenshot that
Screenshot it,
before he takes it away again.
player. Look at that. Those are the zones. Check it out.
So is that werewolf zone or is that yeah
Yes.
the hill where
Looks
the
like
ship
it,
crashed?
Werewolf.
Well,
Uh-huh.
boys,
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's time to go exploring.
We made friends with the were-rats, right?
Friends. We made
Kind
friends.
of. Kind of.
The agreement was if you don't come on our crap and we won't come on your crap, then we won't go in your neighborhood, you won't come in our neighborhood. That was the agreement. So if that's made friends in Dalgron's book, then absolutely, you guys are friends. I did make some quests while I was thinking of it. What do we got? What's the quest button look like? Oh, it's the little holy uh, Church of No Return. Yeah, I remember that one. I made the crash ship and oh, guess what? You guys have a visitor today after Dr. Troy.
Who?
So, I mean,
Oh
Dr.
yeah,
Troy's going to spend a couple hours here. So, I mean,
we got the lobster dude that said he had syphilis or something. Needs something fixed.
he
His ears.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
needs
definitely
some deafened taken care of, but
earwax removal.
so what do you guys want to ask Dr. Troy? It's obvious that he's probably not going to tell you everything that he knows right now. But what would your characters think is important?
Where is he going?
He says, I have been able to put myself in a position of power.
In the city?
Yes, of course, the city.
Well,
Is that a song? Where did he come from? Where did he go?
Cotton Eye Joe.
No,
Martian.
just no.
Just no.
Watch it, Marbandi's gonna break out into some Ozark hillbilly rap here in a minute. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
So Town Guy wants to know where Dr. Troy is going.
Where's he going? Where are you going? This is so secretive. Come on, Dr. Troy.
And Gorgio beat me with the band hammer. He's quick on that shit.
Wait, that was my cousin. What the hell? He sells followers and primes. That's what it does for a living. No.
He doesn't even speak English.
Woo doo doo doo. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a generator. It's a generator name. I think if Dr. Troy was going to give you guys some advice,
He'd tell us where to go get some magic weapons, wouldn't he? Yeah. Come on,
he
Dr.
says,
Troy. You know.
he says, I could tell you where the church is at.
Oh. What church?
The church that supposedly hasn't been entered since before the mythal went up.
Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that story.
The church that Schultz talked about.
Yeah. Where's that at?
Yeah,
He
so I'll
points
ask
Out in the
Dr. Troy.
wilds,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He points to it on the map. Oh, wait, we don't have a map.
Nice. What do you mean we don't have a map?
Like, the characters don't have a map. He can't point to it. The DM and the players have a map, and we can point in that general direction.
Well, can't you just draw it on this piece of paper, Dr. Troy?
He is going to indicate that it is. Hold
Go
on
3/4
1
miles and take a left at the Big Chicken.
Yeah. It is. Just below S20 or $28.
That's
Hold
a
on, I'll put an
seaward.
arrow.
Oh, that's right here. Okay.
Well, that's right outside our gate.
Nice.
Oh.
And you said that the Schultz person is to our benefit. What do you mean by that? There has been talk of eliminating him from our lives in a more permanent manner. But you seem to indicate that would not be good.
Schultz's interest is his own, and you're pretty much guaranteed that. However, he is informed of the comings and goings of many of the werewolves.
I think sometimes it's
And
better
his
to.
position as a Waterdeep watch also gives him knowledge of the city's past.
I mean,
Other
we know
than
how
that,
he works.
he is an oaf.
He's
Yeah.
a thief and a bully.
But they're gonna send somebody.
As is many of the werewolves.
They're gonna
It
send
is in their
somebody by
nature.
here. Next one could be a real, dick bag.
Yeah, he's a known
ballsack.
quantity, whereas
The devil we
if you were
know.
replaced, right?
They might put that halfling in charge.
Indeed, it would be possible to make him stop coming altogether.
So we should go to this church. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Troy?
That's what I heard.
He says, you know where it's at. The danger. It's up to you to figure out.
We're not afraid of danger.
Now, that's my cousin there. That one is my cousin.
Damn it, Gorgio.
Seiko and Gorgio's slacking. He must have went to sleep.
Already banned. Or banned, you got him just before me.
Banhammer. That's old Seiko Madara. It's a Japanese Mexican drug lord, Seiko Madara.
The person that we
I was
obtained
pooping.
the person we obtained the writ of passage from seems to be more informative and more helpful than Schultz.
Indeed,
The
Corbanian
way
is
around.
who you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yes.
is very well informed, probably better informed than anyone else in the city. However, his goals are different, perhaps, than yours.
What
He
are
also
his goals?
doesn't come and steal from us every 3 days.
No.
What are his goals?
He has a different outlook than many in the city. Thinking that the city can still be saved. The planet is not doomed. It can be recovered. He sees the best in people.
So, right now we're deciding this planet is just doomed. It's doomed.
Well, that's what
And
he said, Dr. Troy said.
right.
He thinks it is.
We got to save the planet.
Why?
If we don't, Marley, we'll all be dead.
We just need to leave the planet. We don't need to save it.
Yeah. we
The
just need
planet's
to
beyond
leave.
redemption.
Yeah. Yeah, what he said.
There's always hope.
She
Dr.
works down
Troy.
at the sit and spin. What does she have to do with anything?
Sit and spin? Hope? Where's
Little rub and tug.
the rub and tug?
Her true name is Diamond Hope. Get it right? Ladies and gentlemen, on the center stage, Diamond Hope. I always make fun of Rob because he had a job like that one time. He also worked at the skating rink. It is disco ball time. Everybody skate backwards. I don't know what he had to do, but
Thank you.
um,
So before Dr. Troy leaves,
yeah, because
dog,
I mean,
Dogman's going to ask him
I try not to give away too much of his plans here.
if he's put himself in a position of power, how can we call upon him if we need him?
He's like, he can't. He's gonna be gone forever.
That's no power.
We can't construct like the Dr. Troy signal where we blast a shadow
Look,
of Dr. Troy up into the sky.
yeah, Dahlgren can
He-
use his bright fists and flash something, and Morcal can do like the little butterfly in the light.
And what? And Dr. Troy's gonna come save you?
Hopefully, yeah. He's powerful. He's in a position of power.
The person in
understand that.
power can come save you, but not Dr. Troy. And am I ready
like
to
we're on
tell
our
you
own, guys.
who the person of power is yet?
Who's the person of power?
You also realize if we do not have contact with you, then when we leave this God's forsaken plane, we will not be able to take you with us.
You think the ship is gonna get built without me?
Well, you're giving us kind of mixed signals here. You're saying you're gone forever, and then you're talking about being here to help us build the ship or influence
No.
something in the shipbuilding, and I'm a little confused.
It is confusing, I understand, but let me see if I can help you. The person known as Dr. Troy has been dead for 25 years.
It was an
What the fuck?
assumed identity, and you're gonna take off your disguise and go do whatever you do.
I don't take off a disguise.
Metaphorically speaking.
He says, now I'm going to assume somebody else's form.
Okay, so you're still around. You're just not gonna look like Dr. Troy.
I won't be Dr. Troy at all.
You're gonna look like Dr. Manhattan.
Do we have
Off.
some form of password or phraseology that will let us know that it is you and your personality?
How will we know you? Or will we?
Or will you even know us when you change?
Oh, I will definitely remember my life as Dr. Troy.
Is this guy a doppelganger?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So he's choosing to forget us.
He's not forgetting you.
He's just gonna go be somebody else who he has a lot more power than Dr. Troy does. He's been living multiple lives in the city, working different angles. That's
And
kind
Dr. Troy's been
out
dead
of
for
character.
25 years?
Yeah.
That was 10 years before us.
Yeah.
So again, do we have any kind of paperwork that can allow us to take over legally this domain, this
He's like,
store and property?
it's like whatever paperwork you need, we can generate. I suppose if someone wants to come and take the store from you, as a person of power, I would intervene.
I think we already did that last time when he was here. Like he signed some paperwork that transferred official ownership to us.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds familiar.
didn't remember. But if he still maintains the ownership of it, then we don't have to pay the taxes.
It's subletting. It's subletting. He's like, taxes. Pay taxes to the werewolves. To the ravens. There's no tax collectors. Many times I find you take what you want.
Perhaps
You keep
we could
what
be
you
the tax
can.
collectors.
Indeed. I have confidence that in time, all of you will grow to be very powerful. After all, you do have some of my DNA, some of my
Even Marley?
genetic splicing.
Gross. So if you're not Dr. Troy, then how, are the rest of us who we all say we are?
Indeed. You could be on your second or third lives and have forgotten all about the past. Everybody looks over at Dalgron, who's like 700 years old looking.
Dogger just looks confused as all hell.
It says, are you interested in helping put this ship together?
Well, yeah.
If it gets us
Yes.
off this rock, yeah.
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 Well, do we know where it will take us? Do you know where it will take us?
The ship take you anywhere you want to go. If you want to go where I go, then you better be prepared for fight.
I'm always prepared for a fight.
Yeah, we're pretty much used to that. Is it worth it?
This is the enemy that we're fighting. Hasn't been published yet, but they're coming. They're in the next book. I've actually typed "to be determined" in my notes. So, campaign end is you guys flying away. Kind of idea.
I figured
right?
that would be the start of the campaign.
No.
Well, that's the end of Waterdeep. That doesn't mean the end of the entire game.
Well, it depends on how fast you guys can get off this planet. There's certain things that you guys need to know, and I think Dr. Troy can probably explain them to you. This planet has been seeded by an undead army of flying pirate ships, basically. Undead pirates that fly around in space, and they seeded this planet with undead to turn it into undead to add to their ranks. And this isn't an uncommon thing for them.
So they're
And
like the Borg.
Yeah, pretty close to the Borg. And you guys are caught like in the zone where they're seeding these planets. So even if you get off of the planet, there could be an armada of undead ships you got to get past. So you might want to jump right to hyperspace in the Millennium
That's why we
Falcon,
need
because
the
the other
aluminum
things don't do
Falcon.
that. No, I don't know.
And jump
I can
straight to ludicrous speed.
I can see that old wooden thing getting up there to, hyperspace, whatever.
So I guess since the cat's out of the bag, the person that Dr. Troy is going to become, you guys have been. See, let's do some more persuasion on him. The rest of you guys, you could use another skill if you think it would be helpful in the situation. We can explain to how, sleight of hands, giving him a quick little hand job would be helpful. Then okay, I could go for it. I think.
So how about verbal investigation?
He's like, my, you have a lot of reach there. What? What'd you say, Sven? Sorry.
Verbal investigation. Asking the right questions, investigating like a investigator, asking,
Detective.
framing the right questions.
Like doing some like Sherlock Holmesy kind of stuff. Watson, if it's not the obvious, then why are you asking silly questions? S danger S what?
I just noticed he
It's
changed his
dangerous.
name.
It's
Yeah,
dangerous.
S's middle name is Danger. Remember?
Danger is my middle name. It's
That's
dangerous.
that's what Marley said.
So, can you explain to me what you're trying to do to persuade Dr. Troy?
S.
Yeah.
He is extremely bad at persuasion. So he just keeps needling him. So you gonna tell us now? 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 You gonna
Just
tell
tell
us
us.
now?
Just tell us. Just tell
Come on.
us.
Come
Just
on.
tell us.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You rolled those 0.
Oh, weird. The 0 didn't even show when you shared it.
Hmm?
It just shows as blank for me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
weird. Wait.
Yeah, it doesn't show the roll thing for me. That shows.
Oh,
a
Marley
10.
sucked on his persuasion
It's
roll.
the
It's only a
zero's
0
not
is
showing.
hidden. It's like that's not a valid number. You're so bad.
You're so
We're
bad.
not even gonna just show it.
He's so bad that you can't even get it. They can't. Fantasy Grounds won't even accept the roll. You got to roll it again. he tells you that he is the visiting dignitary that Schultz was talking about. He could tell you that much.
Don't eat the
Says-
candy he's going to give you.
Oh yeah, you got the recipe for that candy? And where do we get supplies?
He says recipe for the candy.
The deer poop
deer
candy.
poop.
It's something my mother used to make. I have it memorized, but I suppose
Your
I
mother
could
made
write it
deer
down.
poop?
I made black eyes deer poop.
No, you guys call it deer poop. He never had a name for he called it candy. That's all he ever called it.
So are
kind
you the one on the ship? And have you been going back and forth to the ship? And now it just recently crashed.
He says, I have not been able to leave this mythol. It's too dangerous to try to teleport through it.
Didn't Schultz say that the visiting dignitary was a werewolf?
As far as Schultz is concerned, he is.
No?
I don't know if he actually said that. I know he was in command, but I don't know that he said he was a werewolf. I don't remember.
Yeah, but I thought
He
the
said it was
entire
a
command
commander of
structure
his,
was
a boss.
lycans.
He said he was a general.
Yeah, general.
Well, that makes sense then. So
He
the
probably presumes
doppelganger,
it is.
So he,
the doppelganger is also posing as
as a lycan.
as a werewolf. Very powerful. So there's his position of power.
That's a lot to take in, isn't it? Little mind stomp. Like,
General Troy.
yeah, don't call him General Troy. That would just blow his cover, probably. Totally.
Counselor Troy.
He says, in time, I plan on moving a unit, a ceremonial type, a special unit into the fort.
A unit of what?
Yeah, for what purpose?
Is that why the one went feral?
Or are we the unit?
Was it a special unit that got loose?
Sometimes the moon can make certain individuals go mad. Too many times on the edge of the rays is what some of them call it. They usually have to be put down.
So that's what happened to that guy. Had to be put down.
So philosopher who said you can't fight the moonlight.
Yeah, maybe that's what was wrong with that crazy. Maybe that's what's going on with Schultz.
Schultz, what do you mean? What's going on with him?
He was kind of ragged and jittery, and
It's because of the full moon. He's a werewolf. I mean, Dr. Troy doesn't say that. That's the DM telling you. Your character probably knows that.
maybe he was on the edge of the race too many times.
The
Time to put him down.
the the ones that can't come back from being under the influence of a full moon is the ones we're referring to. They get trapped in their own mind.
So what
Is this
happens to
just a-
lichens that are on worlds that have no moon?
Uh-oh.
Why would lichens live on a world with no moon?
I don't know. You see these ships take you to other worlds. Imagine at some point a lichen hopped on a ship and got to another world.
We hope not.
Lichens are unique to this world?
I doubt it.
Toral curse? I'm just curious, if there's no moon, are they stuck? Or do they never go insane? Or
Perhaps those lichens, the affliction is different. Perhaps it's the cold winter that affects them, or the spring equinox. Different things can develop on different worlds. That's no moon. So,
Let's go to church.
agreed.
Yeah, I'm suddenly feeling very religious.
Really? S is feeling a little more sacrilegious.
sacrilegious.
He wants to go sack the place.
Well, I think an hour and a half of role play, and I think we all just need a break. How about a 10-minute break? Yeah. All right, we're gonna take. Actually, we're gonna come back at 9:45, or I'm sorry, 9:40. So a little more than a 10-minute break. I'm gonna plug in a timer for 21:40 and start that. So that's like 11 minutes. And I'll start the slideshow and put some pretzel on. So if you're hanging out, you want to listen to the music, you can. If not, we'll be back here at in about 10 minutes or so. So go get a drink, go take the trash out, and we'll see you shortly. Yeah, break. All right, we're back. Stopping the music, stopping the timer, stopping the break. All right, we're back. So, everybody, Ben, put that potato chip down. um, so what do we need Dr. Troy for right now? I think he's gonna leave it up to you guys to discover his identity.
Dr. Feelgood.
He's like, here's the keys to the spaceship. I'll see you guys around.
He's probably really that damn halfling.
Now you don't know who to trust. Could have been Dr. Troy the whole time. Maybe the whole city is him. It's just, he's like,
It's just the many iterations of Dr. Troy.
S could have been fighting him.
Kicked his ass.
this is a, not your atypical doppelganger.
So if he's not your atypical, then he is typical.
He's not your yeah. I guess that is a double negative, isn't it? So
Dr. Troy was the Kruthix.
let's say you guys spend like most of the day like towards the afternoon with Dr. Troy.
I will also ask him if he knows how to deal with this bug person's ear problem.
Playing
He's
Cully
like,
with the hearing issue.
And give
From
him a
the
big cone he can
pit
hold
fight.
to his ear. It's a tin cone funnel.
We've got an old dwarf that can cure him. Just clap him really hard in the ear.
he's like, this fella that you're talking about, is he beneficial for you?
He's not a fella. He's a bug man.
Yes, this bug man. Is he
He's like,
somebody that can benefit you? Is he gonna be on the ship?
No.
Well, we'll need somebody to run our fit arena fights. May as well be him.
Our pit fights on the ship.
There's pit fighting gonna be on the ship.
We'll make a space.
It's how we'll resolve
Cargo
conflict.
Bay 2 is now the pit fighting arena.
Loser gets ejected.
And you got Howard Cosell, the announcer.
We're circling somewhere above.
See, Dr. Troy's gonna have a new name, and we're still gonna call him Dr. Troy because when you meet him again, then he'll explain a lot more. And he even challenges that of you.
When we meet him again for sure, or when we meet him again and figure out who the hell he is.
yeah, we won't be meeting Dr. Troy. We'll be meeting somebody else that's really Dr. Troy.
Yes, when you probably more easily
not
than you think find out my new name. That's the easy part. But come shake my hand. Then I'll tell you what I know.
Tinky Winky. Is that your name, Tinky Winky?
That's
Until
a trick,
then.
isn't it? Your other form has no hands.
He says, until then, explore, grow, and become who you want.
Well, right now we want to go to church.
As you guys stand around, he says, by the way, my servants will disappear when I leave too.
What?
What?
That's
All
bad news.
All three of them?
Yeah.
Who's doing the laundry?
We-
Not it.
Yeah, we got to do our own laundry and clean the house now?
You just took the housekeeper away? No!
Or
No!
Or
The end of the world is near. There's a whole
Yeah.
army planting seeds on planets, but you took the housekeeper away? No!
Well, we are 15.
I know, right?
A bunch of teenagers.
Place is going to be a pigsty in like an hour.
Rex, why don't you just hotbar that? Just drag that down to a hotbar. Control 2. It's the new Control 2 hotbar. Just stabs him in the throat. We can actually set a chat trigger for that if you want. Yoink! So you guys want to like bust a move out the gate and
We have to wait for the bug man.
Yeah, I got to
wait for
heal
Oh yeah, the bug
Howard
man's coming.
Cosell.
Oh yeah, the bug
man.
Clin Collie.
the bug man.
The
His
bug
name is
man.
Cosell.
Hey, Cozy.
His name is Cosell and let's see oh, wrong button. Actually stuck him right. I thought right. Yeah, here he is. So he's like, you guys hear this rumbly kind of noise before he even gets there. He's like, the door opens and you see like his claws and his like feet. He's like, squeezes in the front door, and he's talking really loud. Hello, I am Coast. Oh, there you are. He's talking really loud as he comes in.
Can't we treat him like out back or something so he doesn't knock over? Be careful.
Yeah. Dr. Troy's like, excuse me, pardon me, I'm out of here. No, he already left. It's a nice token while you lasted. You guys do understand why he can't be Dr. Troy, right?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever like tried to be like play in two as like plays or something and trying to act as two different actors? It's impossible. You know, he's trying to do two personas at the same time. Very well,
actor,
you know. And there's also he's got something. There's a thing. You'll figure it out later. There's a thing.
It'd be like if you played in multiple D&D campaigns and tried to play different characters in all of them.
It's pretty hard.
Confusing.
It is pretty hard. You should try DMing like 3 or 4 campaigns at the same time.
A week.
A week, yeah. It's easy. It's easy. Like this guy does. But anyways, Cosell is here. He's like, hey, Ogron, you remember you said I should come down to the shop and you can hook me up? I still think there's something going on with my ear.
Yeah, he's pretty tall, right?
He is
He's
a
gonna be
large
big,
creature,
right?
yes. He is big.
We'll all stand
So,
around him and just mouth the words.
You remember what he looks like, right? Right? Just you know, because I gotta show him my handiwork.
So Dahlgren's gonna pull up a little step stool so he can reach his ear, and he's gonna look inside of it. He's gonna tell him, "Hold still. This is gonna hurt, but I need you to hold very still.
Hold on a second. If it hurts too
Brace
bad,
yourself."
I have an instinctual habit of stinging people, so maybe somebody better hold my tail down.
Marley,
Hold it.
grab this tail.
Oh shit!
It's like this big around, Marley.
If you're gonna sting someone, sting me.
Let's winch it down with some of this rope right here.
Like,
All right.
Drag the waiting bench over on top of it. We got it. Sit on top of it. Okay.
We could just milk all the poison out of it for us.
What?
To
I could
do
grapple
whatever
him.
with.
He's like, what?
I'll hold him still.
You're not gonna jam more stuff down there, are you?
No, I'm just gonna look in here real quick. And Dahlgren's gonna look in his ear. Then he's gonna do the Mr. Miyagi and smack his hands together and warm him up, and then slap him on the ear and cast lesser restoration on him.
Which is a range,
Kinda like-
isn't it?
pound that one ear.
Is that touch spell? Just so we know.
Yeah, it's touch. That's why he's got to be on the stool so he can
Oh, is
smack
it a
his ear.
touch? Okay, nice.
Yeah. Let me burn that second slot.
He's like, oh, it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was gonna hurt. No, my tail's hurting. No, can you get off of it, please? Oh, thank you. Um, give me a perception check.
S is horrible at perception too. But sure.
Well, what are you good at?
Athletics,
No,
Standing toe to toe.
athletic.
acrobatics,
Beating shit
moderately,
up and smashing things
surviving.
in the face.
Yeah, poking
And-
things with the end of the stick.
And have you been doing any training in your poison at all?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I've been working with Morkel and whatnot. We've been training off and on, trying to work on different formulations and whatnot. I think we've mentioned it a couple of times where we were messing around with it.
So why don't you go ahead and do some downtown activities?
Okay.
Learning poison. And I'll give you 3 days of progress on that.
Alrighty.
Morkel, you've been also labbing it a little lately. What do you think he's been labbing it in?
Well, hopefully, figuring out some more potions or other things that we could sell in the shop, at least using the ingredients that we still have on hand. Because that's all he has to play with.
Selling the stuff in the shop is another discussion that we'll have in just a minute. But as far as what he's been learning to do in the alchemy supply range, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would think that in the few days that you've committed to training, you've been working on not necessarily training yourself, but trying to make potions that you can turn a profit on, basically.
Yeah.
And the easiest ones to do that with are potions of healing.
That'd be good. Yeah.
So I'm going to say that you've actually figured out the recipe to make potions of healing.
Ooh. Nice.
So I think somewhere you should start a recipe book.
Okay.
On your potions.
Mm-hmm.
It's blister, wart, and wheat. It's how you make it cure wounds, restore health.
Perfect. So where'd you get that out of?
Skyrim.
Skyrim. No, there's a potion thing. Don't we have it? Have we been using it?
In that, there's a
Should
product
be.
that I converted that has a whole bunch of plants and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a combination of
It's good.
plants in that one that does.
No, there's
Alchemical brews.
Yeah, there's a couple different.
Is that the one I shared with you guys on the table already?
Yeah, I hotkeyed it.
There's a reference manual for alchemical brews.
Yes, but
Yeah, I think
Magic
that's what
Aries
I'm
is better.
talking about.
And Skyrim is easier.
There's no potion of healing on there
Dang.
because that's magical, not alchemical.
I don't know if this is what I was looking at. All right. Anyways, you've got a recipe to make potions of healing currently. It's the first one, but you also have some general start on what was the other one? A potion of
Poison.
well, poison, but the one that has the empty vial in the box. Those were potions of
Black ice.
um, mind control.
That's yeah.
So you got a little bit of idea on a recipe for that too. Like
Oh, nice.
that's obviously not complete, but some ingredients. And you got a complete lab here, so it's just a matter of getting the ingredients together and time, right? I think right now what you guys need is time. Now let's talk about the shop for a second. Is that something that you guys think you would enjoy managing? Is like every now and then I have people come in and randomly purchase stuff out of the shop? Or would you rather just be like like we kind of already initiated is every 10 days the shop gets an income? And we don't have to really worry about what's in the store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather hand wave away that
Yeah, not deal with
The
the
Yeah.
management of the
minutia
store
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah.
micromanaging.
Yeah.
The only thing I could see is if we find something like extremely valuable that we're just like, oh, we'll put that in the shop in case somebody buys it. So I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think we
think
track down a
and you
potential
guys kind
buyer.
of got
Yeah.
the illusion or the idea that the shop is really a front,
Mm.
right? So you don't really want people coming here.
Yeah, because our
Just enough to
nefarious.
keep us maintained, not
Yeah,
enough
just
to,
enough to keep the illusion that you're not, that you're not doing anything wrong. And what's the best place to do it? Right under front of somebody that you control. That's reporting back to the army, right?
Yeah, we keep Sergeant Schultz convinced that we're just an ordinary shop. Meanwhile,
Which
we can
shouldn't be
doing
hard to do.
other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Every now and then you put a trinket in there that you think you might like, and
Yeah.
so I don't see the shop or just leave there. Whatever's in it is in it. You guys can sell it, I think, if you want to dumb it down and to put some different stuff in there to change the illusion and sell some of the stuff that's in there. That's fine too, so we can work on that. But as far as everyday management of the shop and stuff,
I mean, we could blanket policy a few things like, uh, Marley tends to, he's going to open the shop for at least 4 hours a day, between 10 and 2 or whatever. And then that way we can get a little bit of sleep and then go messing around at night in places where we shouldn't, but we should, but we shouldn't.
so are you gonna try to like
Pay CK so much that certain things that we should just say that this happens, that we want to keep the shop open, at least.
just enough to keep the illusion going, right? Prometheus 2128 with a raid. What's going on? That kind of was loud. That scared the pee out of me a little bit.
Ha 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 ha.
I didn't jump like we get Marbania. He jumps out of his seat. So we can discuss that a little bit. So think on that. But let's go outside the gate. What do you guys think? You guys want to?
Yeah,
Come
we'll
on.
head out. I'm
Come
gonna
over.
put on my disguise, and we'll start heading out.
Good evening. All right, so let's go over to the locations map, and we'll zoom in here, and we'll go to the party token. So you guys to get out of troll skull. What's happening? Somebody disguising themselves? You can go through this gate down here, but this gate's a little more army controlled, kind of in and out. So much nosy, if you want to know, like where are you going, what are you doing? But you could freely go out the north gate up here. No one's probably gonna even question you. And the same with
Let's
coming
take the
back
north
in,
gate.
you know. So
I say we go out the bottom south gate and then come in from the north.
Yeah. Yeah, we just show them our paper.
yeah, they don't ask you too many questions when you're leaving. They're like, do you know if you're coming back, you got to do it between the hours of 7 and and you guys are like,
703.
yeah, whatever. It's like the pharmacy. They always go on break when you are on lunch. Like, what? I'm like, wait, I'm going to take lunch late today, so I go to the pharmacy. What do you mean they're closed from 1 to 2 now? What? I changed my lunch so I could come here when the pharmacy was open. It was like
They knew when
frustrating.
everybody was coming, so that's
No, it's
why
just
they
Drake.
closed it.
All right, so you guys come out the south gate, and we're gonna call it later in the afternoon. And remember that this city under this mythal is still pretty dim. You know, a lot of times, even during the day, the bright sun, it's still not like bright. You know, so the afternoon is waning in, and this it's getting kind of dark as you guys move up into this area. There's this road that you guys are on is kind of a trafficy road. People coming and going on it. Most of them are minding their own business and hustling, but you guys can hear the jackals and stuff kind of howling out of the corners of the buildings and stuff here and there. Um, as you guys start down the street, um, any particular thing that you guys want to do?
I'm going to be sort of keeping close to the buildings. One, looking in as I pass each one, but also quickly able to move into the shadows and stuff.
Yeah,
Have
are the guards watching us? Kind of
Uh,
trying to keep an eye on them.
kind of. I mean, after like, do you guys get away from the gate and down the street a little? They care less about you.
I'm kind of watching behind us to see
you,
if anybody's following us.
I mean, you guys see like ravens flying around.
Like specifically flying around directly above us, or just kind of flying all over?
In general, there's a lot of ravens in like this area flying around. But you know, it's like
They're probably paying attention to our ward.
it's like pigeons in New York. They're everywhere, but are they following you? Oh.
I say we get the hell to where we're.
Did
we
we
get where
just see
we're
that
going
pigeon?
quickly.
I don't know.
We've got to get where we're going quickly, and not dilly dally out here in the street.
Yeah, S is walking with purpose.
Yeah, when we get to that where we are now, we'll turn east and then north through the alley. I mean west and then north through the alley.
All right, so you guys make your way through the alleys and into this area back here. So you guys see oh, I had an image. This is kind of the general look of
Nice.
this area, right? even in the Troll Skull area, it looks a lot like that. Kind of the smoky darkness. This is, you know, heading into evening, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This kind of look here. But the the you guys are like moving around, and you guys come into like a the center of a square kind of thing, and off to the left you can see what looks pretty much like a church in the general area that you were sent to. And I'm gonna put you guys on a map. And let's see. Everybody's got dark vision, huh? This is nice. So you guys don't have any light source. Alright, remind me that any perception checks based on sight are going to be a disadvantage for you guys. Alright, so you guys, who's on the front? Who would be up front? Orag? Like kind
Yes.
of leading the sneak here?
Correct.
And who's behind that?
S would be a little ways behind.
Uh-huh. And then Markel, Marley, and Dalgron taking the back?
Yep.
That'll
Alright,
work
cool.
from armor behind me.
So I've established with S already that if you suddenly get hit with a ball bearing, that means stop. Something's happening.
Like blood is drawn
Like
and hit in the head with a
out of a wrist rocket, or just you're gonna just toss a ball bearing at him?
No, I don't have a wrist rocket. It'll be taped to an arrow.
So you guys are moving through this area, and I'm gonna describe it a little bit before I share the map with you. And Oreg, you're in the front, and S, you're probably like 15 feet or so behind him, coming around the side of a building. And Oreg, you kind of creep to the end and peek into this square, right? And something's kind of got you on edge a little bit. There's a noise or something. Might be more of a smell?
Sniff. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll sniff
Yeah, you're like,
the air as well.
something smells bestial nearby. Like, you get the sense that you're entering something's area, right? Like their territory.
Okay.
And just at the edge of your senses, you can hear a couple of voices, like further down the street a little bit, and you can make out some kind of light source down there.
So I'll walk back to the rest of the group. There's a light source down there, and it looks like there's some people there as well. Smell. Can you smell that? It looks like some sort of beast in this area.
Not
Is it
really.
them bugs again?
S, can you taste it?
I'll taste
No,
the
it's not.
air.
It's more primal than insect.
So, what are you guys thinking?
I'm gonna go look around. I'm gonna sort of fade into the shadows, wrap the shadows around myself.
when you get when you step over here and you kind of look across the edge of this. This looks like maybe some kind of public well out in the middle of the street there.
Mhm.
There's something laying on the other side of it. You can hear a chain rattle and kind of a growl a little bit, like the chain rattles, and then like a little flash of light lights up over there briefly, and laying on the ground with this huge chain around his neck, you see a creature that looks like this.
Is it Dr. Troy?
Could be. It
We
could be a
don't know.
mimic too. Or a. Did you? Yeah, you got.
Would I know what these are in my
Uh,
studies?
I mean, probably not necessarily that exact what that actually is, if you know what it is, but it from what you look at right now, it looks like some kind of large
Okay.
dog or some kind of might be some kind of weird werewolf thing
Could
over
I
there.
So I want to follow the chain with my eyes, see where it is attached.
It seems to run back into the darkness beyond your dark vision.
To the north.
Yeah, to the north, yeah.
Okay. So
You
I'm
can
gonna keep
hear
going.
it back there more than you can see it, you know what I mean? Like
Am I
rattling.
able to tell where the wind is blowing? I want to say downwind of it.
You are currently downwind of it. Yeah, it's kind of blowing in
Okay.
your face right now as you come around the corner.
So I'm just gonna come over here around this corner, look around over here, and then I'll work my way back.
All right, when you get to the corner right here, you can see that there's a bunch of debris piled up on this porch, this deck,
Okay.
and behind the barrels and stuff, it looks like church doors.
Can I tell what's around this fire?
Yeah, you can see two guys standing down there that you think
Okay.
they're actually in a hybrid form right now, and they're kind of standing around. They look like they're guards or something, jackals.
All right. So I'll move back.
They're standing around like a barrel with a fire in it or something.
And I'll reach over and touch Marley.
Dingo ate my bacon.
Get his attention. There's some sort of dog, feral dog chained up over there behind the well, and then there's jackals to the northeast, and there's the entrance to the church. Really just depends on how worked up you want to get S. We could take them all out, or we might be able to sneak into the front doors without being seen. I'm fine either way.
What about this window up here?
These
What, in the
jackals
building
like
next
the
to you?
wolves, they're going to be immune to everything we hit.
This isn't the church?
No.
I do
Okay.
not know.
Let's get a closer look then. Jackals didn't run over and get all, in a tissy.
They didn't see me, so
Oh,
I don't know how they will react when they see you.
okay. Well, then Marley decides not to just go running out there.
Yeah, there's a difference between seeing you and knowing that you're there too.
Would you find us a way into the church?
Yes, there are front doors we can sneak into, or we can kill the dog and the
Sorry.
jackals.
I unlocked.
I say it's better
I
off that
unlocked the tokens.
we come and go and nobody even knew we were here.
Wait, we're sneaking in the front door.
If we kill them all, then nobody will know we are here either.
What kind of is? Can I tell what kind of church this is, or is it a temple to something, or?
You can't even see the church right now.
Oh, okay. I'll just check that when I get in front of it then.
So, what say you, S? Do you want to attack or do you want to sneak?
Um,
Well, it's a church. Why can't we just knock on the door?
First
It's
of all,
long since closed.
let's proceed. If they approach us aggressively, we'll get rid of them.
but they're like we can't.
All right, so
I
I'm going to
can't hardly
sneak up.
hurt
Tell them where to go. Doors over there to the east, to the west, the other east, to the west. And then I'm going to go back over here for when a dog attacks them, I can attack it from a surprise.
All right, give me a stealth check. The rest of you guys are just walking over there.
I'm trying to be quiet here.
Yeah, I think we're all sneaking
All right,
over.
so,
I got
Sneaking
give
over
me
there.
give me that
Dowd
trying to be
Tin
quiet
and
roll
Fist
too, please.
next to me.
Oh wait, we got requested rolls back, don't we? Let's try it. Let's see if it's
Yeah.
working. Select all. Select skill. We gotta learn how to spell. And push the die. Did it work? Oh, nothing broke. Why is there a 37 on the what the hell? How did you get a 37?
19 on the die, pass without trace,
Yeah,
plus
that's
18.
true. Wow.
I am the wind.
It's like Predator. He's like,
I have
Now that
mastered the
rolled in
art
the
of moving so slowly it cannot be seen.
yeah, I didn't ask for it hidden. Can I ask for it hidden?
Should be able to, yeah.
Oh, the eyeball, yeah. Yeah, so if I do it that way, then it will do it hidden.
yeah, I think I'll keep what I got though.
Dalgron's got armor penalty.
So does S.
All right, so you guys, when you guys like cut around the corner, you get past the well over there. You hear like a like a like a snort or a snarl or something, and you see laying across the street with a big chain around his neck a big dog, a big kind of one of these things.
A hellhound.
Oh, I've read about these. I think it's called a kobold.
It's
Uh,
MOON. That spells cobalt.
all right, can you see the chain?
Nice.
All right, give me a perception check there. He's got some kind of tag on underneath, hanging on.
Okay. My owner loves me. If found, please call.
I mean, you can't make it out from 40 feet away, but It is something like that, yeah. Maybe his rabies vaccination. You're not sure, but his breath is hot, and you guys like now that you're around the corner, you can see that this that the front of this church there's just junk piled all up in front of it. The any kind of semblance of a religion on this building look like it's been removed, right? So there's no holy symbol to Tamora or anything, but the structure of the building kind of leads it to be probably a part of the city for a while. This building, you know, it doesn't look out of place or new or anything.
Does a dog react to them?
They're pretty. They've been pretty quiet. You don't think they've been making too much noise over there. So the dog's just kind of laying in this little dirt hole that he's dug on the, kind of laying on the ground there. You can see behind the dog. There's like like maybe where he gets fed, and like he can go underneath that little awning if it's raining or whatnot.
Are there any like holes or gaps going into this church?
Snake size.
Snake size holes?
Probably. I would say behind the barrels and stuff, you might be able to. I mean, you can't see any from out here that look big enough, but maybe if you go through the barrels and stuff, like around and.
Yeah, I am going to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe this window up high or something, but on the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
You
I'm
would have to
hoping.
go like behind, like check it out under the barrels or whatever.
yeah, S, why don't you go check out like behind the barrels in the front, and I'll climb up to the window, and we can look in
Yeah.
together, back each other up.
Well, if he
That's
changes into
kind
a
of there.
snake,
There is like a little bit of like ambient light shining, and that's pretty obvious up there. So I'm just saying,
Okay. All right.
crawling up the front of the building or something.
if he changes into a snake, Dalgan can throw him through the window.
Dalgan gets to have all the fun.
Pick
I
up the
think
poisonous snake.
Urag
Yeah,
would be
good
better
idea.
at the snake than Dalgron
Snake Chucky.
because Urag's good with the whip. Whoosh!
Yeah, there
There you
you go.
go. Snap it.
Snake whip.
And just snap your head right off. Just pow.
Just
Straight.
just tape him to the arrow with the ball
Nice.
bearing.
There you go.
All right.
Wrap
There
yourself
is
around this
this.
arrow.
There is this other thing that this little program does, and it's called Roll Initiative. Wait, what happened to the sound?
Yeah, what happened?
That's weird.
It didn't go into chat, so it didn't trigger it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, something broke.
It asks
Yeah.
for me to accept the URL thingy again, so I don't know.
Oh,
It was hanging up. So when you turn into a snake and you start underneath these barrels, the the barrels, the front of the building, the something is not like real.
Is there a mongoose?
It's
Are the barrels Dr. Troy?
It's the worst image in D&D.
Cloaker?
What is it?
It's a cloaker.
The trapper.
Okay. Is that the
hell am I
person?
looking
He's a
at?
trapper, like a hunter.
it's this thing back here. I guess I
Great.
don't know. It's a manta-like creature that lurks in subterranean natural environments. It change its color, texture, and tough and outward-facing side to it like camouflages. Versatile camouflage, stationary hunters. Remember, no one's ever been that's tried to get in here has gotten gotten in alive. So let's do that.
It's like Rambo covered in mud, and you just see his eyes open.
So S, let's
What happened
see
to my
what.
initiative? That's weird. I clicked it.
Let's see. This thing's being stealthy. So S, what's your passive perception?
Like -3. No, 11.
That's right. You don't have.
As a snake. Is a snake.
But I have blind sight, so no matter how dark it is, I can see it if it's close enough.
You can see that it's camouflaged as something else, right? You can see a barrel.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, so S, you change, you slip in. This guy, they haven't heard you guys yet, so. Morkel, what are you gonna do when S kind of slips in? Are you gonna? Did you decide you want to climb up or?
No, I'm just peering around the corner, watching, for where he went in and if he, is coming back out, and kind of keeping an eye on the jackals and the dog.
Did you
So,
want to kind of ready anything?
I think it's I'm just gonna take the dodge action for right now. I think
That's probably
he's
a
he's
smart
hiding.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why does it look all blue? What the hell? Why does it do that? Is that blind sight? Is that
That's
Yeah.
how it represents blind sight.
really? I've never seen that side of it.
Yeah.
Cool. So this thing is going to do a dexterity saving throw on let's pull this little tiny snake out of here so I can drop this on. Dexterity saving throw on S. I go slow sometimes in case you want to yell out. I want to use my inspiration.
I can't use it
I'm
on
just saying.
myself.
That's true. Or somebody else yells out. I'm gonna inspire
Look
him
out,
to
S.
get a reroll.
I'll give up my stealth and shout out, "Look out, S!" Since I tend to be since I'm period. Well, do I see the cloaker or the trapper? I mean, do I see it move on him or?
I mean, with the inspiration, the flavor of it is kind of you kind of helping, right? You kind of. I don't think you can see the thing. What's your passive perception?
11.
Yeah,
good
no,
as
you
mine.
didn't beat its stealth. So yeah, you I don't think you can. So this thing grapples. So it like grabs a hold of you.
Ah.
Uh-oh. I
That's a great sound.
got a conflict.
What?
Portal. String script manager. Lua.
Portals?
68.
Ready for
Portal
who's
2
requested
dot
rolls?
Lua.
Do you have
Huh.
portals
I
on
might
here
have
somewhere?
it. Yeah, I might have it on. I'm not. I don't have any portals.
Weird.
Re-grappled until the grapple in. Well, you're just a little snaky snake, right?
Tiny,
Yes.
I
tiny
think.
little snake.
It's a snake. It's a
I
snake.
think it. I think it's just gonna like kind of chuck you away, like
Nice.
scoop you away, like swat you back, like not worth its aggravation, right? Shh, quiet. He's like, hey snake, I'm trying to be stealthy here. Would you go away? Psh, that kind of thing. But you get the impression that this thing is big. Whatever it is, it's camouflaged pretty good, but you know it's there now as it kind of bats you away. Marley, you see like the whole front of this church kind of shift and morph into some kind of stealthy looking creature or something there, and it just kind of bats S back away from it, like.
So
You
once he
see it.
took his action, then I was like, S disappeared for a minute, and then all of a sudden he comes flying out, and I could see the movement from that point.
Yeah, you can see the
Okay.
creature moving and shifting. Um,
I'm going to wiggle my fingers and cast Bane.
it's a cantrip?
That is a first level spell.
Oh, so we get to roll on that.
I did. I rolled a 7.
Oh, you had a little sparkles kind of come off of it with a 7, right? Closer to a 1.
Well, it looked like a freaking 1 for a second. And I was like, okay, let's find out.
Let's
Oh,
find
that's
out
a
when the
7.
world comes to an
Yeah.
end. We don't
Yeah.
have to make a ship now.
And then Marley's going to move back. The tokens aren't locked. That's 1, 2, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And we go, Darren, I think I might just pissed it off.
Dalgron hasn't even
Pissed
seen
what
it
off?
yet.
What'd you piss off now?
I'm not really sure, but I think it's pissed. And I'll check off the spell pip. And you know what? I'm going to bonus action. Well, Orig, I probably can't see him. I want to give Morkel some bardic inspiration. I'm say, Morkel, you're gonna just remember, we got your back, man. We got your back. That's all you need to know is we got your back.
Let's put a little light on the map.
Nice and pretty.
Yeah.
When everybody in the party's got dark vision, you miss the color of the maps.
It was daytime, so makes sense.
It's
All right, my
dimly
turn.
lit.
So I'm going to hold. I'm going to very quietly, as I see this action, this movement and stuff. I'm watching the dog. My focus is on the dog. I'm gonna very quietly
Yeah,
remove my rape.
you see his ears perk up, right? The dog's ears perk up, and they kind of face this direction.
Don't
Some
make
kind
eye
of
contact.
movement or something is going on over there.
So I'm gonna cup the end of my scabbard and very quietly, slowly take out my rapier, and I'm going to wait. If it happens to come my direction for some reason within reach, I'll attack it. But otherwise, I'm just gonna wait until
All
next.
right, you're gonna. Are you gonna use an action to be hidden?
Yes, I'm not
Okay.
moving. That's what I'm saying, hidden.
You give me
So
that. Roll that
here we
stealth
go.
check again, please. It's kind of silly to ask for that, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know if well, because you can't roll a critical fail with a I could get a 19.
Well, you
The
rolled a
lowest I could,
1,
lowest I
obviously.
could get.
Yeah.
that's what he rolled.
There you go.
That's like a 19. All right, the guy has to. I mean, he gotta be pretty doing something bad. All right, Dalgron.
Dahlgren's gonna move over to here and let me
What are
check
you?
this.
What are you guys trying to get behind each other?
No, I was trying to get closer to.
No, you.
To
You pissed him off. What'd you piss him off for? I didn't piss him off. You pissed him off.
No,
yeah, I was trying to get
you
closer to
stay where you
Oreg,
were.
but I guess I can't reach him. So I'm going to cast Bless. And since I can't reach Oreg, I'm going to hit these three. And then he's going to continue his movement and get behind Marley because he pissed him
Well,
off.
you little shit.
All right, so this creature gets up and the chain rattles pretty heavily, and you see these two guys step out from around the corner, and one of them says, "Look, shaved aqua goatee, he wants some more." And they pick up these long, prodding-looking poles. "Let's go beat up on him some more," hear him say down on the other end.
And what is the chain attached to? Is that
It looks
looks
like
wooden?
it
Looks
looks
wooden to
like
me.
it looks like a flimsy 4x4. No, it looks kind of sturdy. It's a
It's
pole.
like it's flammable.
Okay.
It does look. It is wooden. Yeah, you do think it is wooden. Like maybe the base has some stone around it or something. Like
There's a lot of bones around that thing there.
Hounds are like elephants. If you train them as a puppy that they can't breathe on the pole, then as they grow up, they'll never breathe on the pole.
right. Don't breathe on the pole, because it heats up the chain and it burns your neck. That you're immune to fire. We don't know what the whole training situation is, but we're about to find out as these as he kind of gets up and he kind of growls. He's like, "Brr." He moves to the end of his chain and he starts to look towards the down that way. As
All right. So can I can determine from here then that right there is the end of his chain.
yeah, yep,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Thank
It
you.
looks like he can. It looks like he could probably get to about maybe there. That's his reach with his bite, but every now and then some smoke and fire comes out of his mouth, so you're not sure how far that goes. But these guys might be more informed about it as they come wandering down with these weird looking poles. I'm just gonna move him with him, but he's not gonna move till his turn. S.
All right, S is going again. Well,
You did see a little hole in the door, though. You think?
well, I'm more interested in these jackals. If this thing's staying by the door, we can come back to it.
Let's put it in a square.
S wants to kind of come on over, slither up over here behind this hay bale.
Yeah. Kind of
And
stick your
he's
head out
really,
from under the hay bale.
yeah, he's trying to observe them. He hasn't decided yet to initiate an attack. He's not really hiding, but I mean, he's a snake. He's tiny. He's sitting there behind the hay bale. And he's going to take the dodge action.
I mean, you think Shaved Aqua saw you move, but he doesn't. He's not. He like glances at it, but since you're, so small, he probably doesn't even care.
Right.
Marley.
Alright, that slivers off like kind of
Yeah, you see him
direction I
dart
didn't
underneath
expect.
some debris out on the street, towards the edge of the street. You can see some of the debris move, so you know where he's at over there. You might not be able to spot him.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over here and this should roll in the tower, right? Just yeah. And I'm gonna hide right back here. Actually, I think I'm not gonna hide. I'm just gonna get behind the building. I mean, not gonna officially hide though. So I won't put, any. But Marley is going to take his short bow. Never mind, it would do no good against those guys. He's gonna go ahead and take that stealth roll. So I don't know if it's fuck. I don't know.
He runs and ducks and gets behind Morkel.
Yeah, Morkel. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
And accidentally like brushes up against his hand and sticks to him for a second, and he's like and then Morkel pushes him back into the corner, and then you go stealthy.
Okay, okay, I go stealth. Well, you got that auto stealth thing on, don't you? They'll figure it out.
No, it tells me what their passive perception is of the creatures
Right.
in the combat tracker. Yeah, against your stealth that you just rolled.
Right.
And against Dalgron.
Well, Dahlgren, after Marley moves and leaves him out in the middle of nowhere for him to be seen, Dahlgren's going to try to sneak around this corner over here.
Clang, 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 clang.
Try to get around the corner of this building.
Give me a stealth check.
Horrible at this, especially with disadvantage.
All right. The washing machine ran around the corner.
And he's going to take the dodge action.
No, you used your action to take the stealth.
Oh, okay, stealth. Okay, that's fine.
All right, this guy's like, did you hear that? It sounded like a Maytag. Who cares? Let's go over here and poke at the... What are these guys speaking? Common. Let's go over here and poke at this fiend. So he comes over. He's got this long pole, like a pike kinda. And jabs at this thing. Come over here, long ear. So it obviously the dog got up, and when it gets up, you could see that it is pretty wounded. Give you guys an idea.
Oh, poor puppy.
There's open wounds all over it. And it kind of huffs a little, and you can see like it's trying to get fire to come out, but it's so weak, and it can, it stands up, but it tries to look like he's gonna defend himself, but it's looking pretty weak. Morkel.
All right, so what Markel's gonna do, and what I should have done on my first turn, but I've never played D&D before,
Put the cannon out?
is
Yeah.
very similar to that. I'm going to activate the spores that are around me to give myself some temporary hit points.
That's way weaker than the cannon, FYI.
It
Way weaker.
is, but it's the best I can do. So. And then I'll also shillelagh on my staff, just to, so I'm getting ready.
All right, Orag.
All right, so I have reevaluated the situation. Now that I have more information, let me check something real quick and see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set down the rapier, pull out the short bow, and try to attack Mr. Aquacote.
You would know that your bow's not going to do any damage to him.
Okay, we did determine that. Okay, then I will. All right, so I'm watching over here, trying to figure out what the heck these guys are doing. Why aren't they engaging this trapper?
Well, they don't. You don't even know there's anything over there.
So you said that the post looks pretty solid. Doesn't look like I could do anything to cause the post to release the dog.
What do you mean, do to it? What, like run over there and headbutt it? What are you talking about? Like get in a Buick and slam into it? I mean, yeah. What are you talking about? A necklace of fireballs? What do you got?
Yeah, sadly, I don't have any of those things. So I'm just going to.
What if you stick it with a rapier? Maybe 27 times, you might chip
All right,
some
so there's
off of
nothing
it.
we can do with these jackals then. They're just going to kill the dog, and so I'm just going to move back quietly, move half my movement, and use my cunning action to action dash, again, half my movement, and try to stay hidden. Use my action to stay hidden. Here is my roll. And I'll pass it off.
So Longear's also gonna come around. They're staying kind of a little bit away from this thing and just jabbing at it, like they're teasing it, right? Every now and then they might poke it and it yelps in pain, but it doesn't look like they're over there to try to kill it. It looks like they're just taunting it and laughing at it.
Pissing it off.
And you also hear some more voices from like way down this way. Like probably another 40 or 50 feet off the map, kind of coming from, but several voices down that way. But they don't sound like they're getting any closer. Well, let's see if this dog can bark up a something over here. Let's see. No. Percentiles. To hell. Oh, snap. He gets his fire breath off. Let's see if it's gonna do anything to these guys. Like this, it looks like this thing's like as they're jabbing at it, it's just getting madder and madder, and you can see it's like building up this red glow in its chest and its eyes, and it just goes and breathes out fire on both of these guys. And they both try to jump out of the way, which they both succeed. And they get
Bet they won't do that again.
They're like, they're like hot. So
Oh, Marley's laughing so hard he'd probably fail his stealth right now.
Lorag. You can tell that fireworks on these guys.
So I can't. It's hard to tell with the light. Are these boxes next to a fence to the east of me?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean against the fence? Oh, this stuff here?
Yes. Am I able to walk through that, or
yeah.
it's okay?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. What is that?
Right, so I'm just going to.
It's like a little curb, like the roads down below or something. I don't know what that is.
Hopefully, I'm out of the way, and I'm going to use my action to dash. And then my Delgron, what's going on? Why are you way the hell back here? And I'm going to try to blend into the shadows with my cunning action.
Get behind Dalgron's armor. All right, Marley, what you got?
Yeah. Bonus action, healing word.
We know.
Bonus action, healing word to Fido.
Nice.
And as an action, I'm gonna slip
Healing
farther.
word 60 or 30?
60.
Good lord, that's a long way.
Yeah. Wait a second, that's very far. I'm looking at healing word 60. Yeah. I'm gonna slip farther back between the cracks in this church and then take the hide action again. So I'll give you a stealth roll in the town.
Wait, how you doing on 2 actions?
It's a bonus action healing word.
Oh, snap it is.
Yeah. So there's stealth, and I'm gonna move right back in there and
Sven bought the dog a potion of greater healing. You get the pleasure of dropping that on him. There you go. Nice. He's like,
All right, S is going to move up to there. And as a bonus action, he's going to drop his snake form, revert to his normal form, and then proceed to spit on Shaved Aqua Goatee.
with bless.
With
Which
bless.
is a
Thank
hit.
you, bless.
Nice. 8 points of damage. He's not looking too healthy.
Oh damn, he survived. Yeah. Then screw it. I'm gonna action surge and do it again.
You gotta die.
Yeah, I want to
Come on.
kill one of them.
The magic number.
Yeah, 1 hit point.
No, you need to do 5.
Okay, I did 5.
He killed it.
Nice. All right. And then I'll pass my turn.
Dalgron.
So Dahlgren's gonna tell Oreg that I'm back here because the things over there and that fire breathing dog and Marley done pissed something off in front of there and I'm hiding. That's what I'm doing back here. And he will
I'm scared.
yeah, I'm scared.
I'm
Take the
third
dodge
level. What
action.
do you want? I don't know what to do.
And
We're
stay
in the
back here.
7th level zone. Everything's got a skull above its head. Well, this thing's like, holy shit, this is hot. And it's going to come running over to this guy. You just killed my buddy. I'm going to not get pack tactics because my buddy's dead. And
Give him a ball of string.
I'm gonna give him a really wide grin with my fangs showing.
and he gives you a really, like, look in your eyes as he gonna make you roll a wisdom saving throw.
A roll up newspaper for advantage.
Bad.
Bad.
Oh, you get bless on it. You succeed.
Nice.
As you kind of were like, as you felt a little sleepy as he looked at you and he's like, just stick around, snake boy. And he kind of does another step next to you. Morkel.
All right. Morkel is he's just gonna cast decaying reach at this jackal out there first.
Nice.
Yes, bless.
That's a hit. Bless is the MVP.
Oh my
Too bad you
gosh.
can't get better damage though.
I cannot. Oh my gosh. And then he's actually gonna come out a little bit from his where he was hiding and support S. So he's gonna run up to there.
Does he go blah, 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 try to distract the guy at least or something?
No, he's hopefully the guy doesn't see him, ignores him because he just took 1 damage. It was just like a little poke.
All right. Well, the top of round 4 is where we're gonna stop at the top of the hour. Till next week. Till next week. Finally, you guys got to fight something, and we get into it, and we got to take a break for a week. So that's it for this week. Next week we're gonna get into a little bit more exploring. I think you guys will be leveling up, and then we're gonna do some fast forwarding. You guys are gonna spend some time. So with
Sure.
with your new trajectory in mind, you could rethink your training now. Probably isn't something you want to, like, do we want to build a relationship and start a shop here and grow old?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thought process might be deterring your.
I was gonna open a restaurant, cook utensils.
Well,
But
anything ever in the history of man opening a restaurant is always a bad idea.
it's a bad
It's
idea.
always a bad idea.
Number one failing business.
It's always a bad idea. The second bad idea is loaning family money. So borrowing money from your mom to open up a restaurant,
There you
fail
go.
every time. I didn't do it. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Who are we raiding? Who's out there to raid? Tomorrow night I'm off. Thursday, Marbania, are you running Deadlands?
Yeah, I believe we are.
Well,
Running Deadlands
if you
Thursday.
want to catch us over there, I'll be playing Timmins. But there's Marbania's information right there. That's on Thursday at 8. And then Friday we are not gonna be streaming. Matakuri has to go help his daughter get settled into college, so he's gonna be away. And it's his turn to DM. So guess what? I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna take a Friday night off. I'm gonna go get drunk. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but
New Jurassic Park is out.
I don't know the movies. Ugh. Maybe if I get drunk, then go to the movies, that might be better.
There you go.
Guess. And then Saturday, I will be DMing over on Rob's channel at 9. Stormlord's Wrath. That's going to be fun too. And Sunday, All Things Fantasy Ground, I help co-host on Sunday at 9, also on Rob's channel, and then back here on Tuesday. So that's the roundup. And tonight we are not going to raid anybody because, yeah, we are. We're going to go raid Rogueworks. Somebody on my
So,
list playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I have a quick announcement out of the ordinary for me. My Wednesday night game a week from tomorrow is going to be a one shot with Fury Fate as the DM. So,
Really?
Really?
if anybody wants to check that out, it's a Wednesday night from 7 to 10 Pacific time, 10 to 1 you Eastern Seaboarders.
Yeah, that's why I don't catch it too much on Wednesdays because I'm like,
But it'll be on
I'm way
YouTube
asleep by then.
too. But
yeah,
just letting you know, it's there.
cool.
She'll be cool. It'll be cool, fun.
All right, we're gonna go raid Rogueworks.
You voiced out
playing
trouble.
Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if they probably got Fantasy Grounds. That's probably why I followed them. So we're raiding. Say goodnight, everybody. Good night. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.